Okay, well, welcome back to another recap video. It is Friday, August 12th, and yeah, let's go over the trades from today. So I end the day minus 108. I started pretty. I started with a good trade on VEEE, but ended up going red later because I got a little bit. I got sloppy in here, so I'll get to that in just a second. But overall today, the markets performed well. The SPY, let's go to find my long terms here. So yeah, the SPY, which is always a kind of good reference of the overall market, was gapped up slightly and then just continued to trade high for the rest of the day. So that's good to see. Same thing with the QQQ here. Anyway, so that's great to see. But more importantly, today's list for day trading for momentum. Yeah, VEEE was, like I said, the one that I had my eyes on. It was a little bit weak coming in, like when I woke up this morning looking at the gap scanner. There was a couple things gapped up, but it was light volume. Nothing. The news wasn't very convincing. But yeah, VEE was the one that was up. There was some good volume, so I was locked in. I didn't trade it for the first couple minutes. This right here gave me a big red flag when it pushed over this pivot pre-market at 635. I was watching this to really before I got involved. And then it broke it and did a fake out. It did a false breakout right there. And when it did that, it closed right here. And I'm like, ooh, that's bad. Yeah, I was like, right away, I'm like, the best, or, the most convincing gapper of the morning is just already rolling over. But then, all of a sudden, buyers came in heavily right here and picked it up and ended up squeezing into a halt at 680. I kind of looked away for a split second when this rolled over here. I kind of was looking over to see if anything else was hopping up, and then this happened in just a couple of minutes. And then yeah, it locked up at, like I said, right here at 648, or I'm sorry, 684. I was watching to come out of the halt for the kind of typical dip and rip if it opened high. And granted, this candle looks really nasty. It did actually do a pretty clean where it opened right here. It pushed up and then came right back down to the level. But on the level two, you could see it was filled with buyers. Got in and it gave a really nice push up here to 745 before it turned back down. But you can see on here, there's a lot of wicks. So this was kind of choppy and it was tricky to trade. So I got green. I was up, I think 250 on this first trade on it. So that was great. But then it got into this range. It kind of did this again where it pushes up and then kind of does this false kind of bull trap right here. And then had this big whip back down to VWAP and buyers picked it back up. I don't think I got involved in this area right here until it made this big push back over VWAP and then over into these levels. Because after it had this resistance around 720, I was kind of waiting for it to get back above that. So once it did that, I was looking for a little flag right in here. And I thought this dip right here might be it. And I kept just getting the timing just slightly off on these. And I kept over trading it and losing, I would lose $50, lose $70, break even, and lose $20 and lose another $50. And it kept happening because I think it happened actually again in here where I was really hoping, really thinking right, yeah, in this candle it was going to break out. And I got the timing wrong, kind of bought low, ended up selling lower, and then it popped up, and then whatever, faded out, popped back up. Okay, so I was really interested here. And then on this candle right here is where I got in for the break. The first candle making you a high here goes up and it kind of does a little false breakout and it has really quick down here. So I immediately hit sell, because after these, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be quick on the sell if it's going to look like it's going to do a false breakout. Then didn't, and buyers really shot this up here. So this was when this broke out over these levels, it was like that. It was like, a half a second. I did not have time to even react because once it got into this range, it looked like it was going to be strong, and I was about to buy this breakout here, and then before you know it, it was 28, and it was like crazy snap up to 75, and then you just had this whippiness, and then from there I didn't really touch it. And then you just had these big flushes on it. You can see this happened a couple times on it. Right here, big flush. And it was just kind of that repeated pattern where you would get bulls and a big red candle, and you get some bulls coming in, push it up, and then you'd have roll over and a big red candle. So it was tricky to trade, and I'm glad that I didn't end up taking a big loss on especially this breakout right here. This was kind of anyway, yeah. So and VEE, that was kind of that one for the day. If I would have just left it alone for this halt, I could have set up 250, but I thought I didn't want to leave money on the table. This opportunity here, so all in all, it's okay. I just was a little sloppy and overtraded it. And the other ones today were that were kind of fun. That were the price action was not the best, but there was three IPOs. We had CHG, Core Housing Group. This one did something that I've never really seen before, where it opened right here at 416, and then runs up, halts at 458. Okay, 5-minute halt. I know, I'm sorry, it ends up being a 10-minute halt. Opens down here at 416. Anyone that bought into this green candle is now significantly red into a halt, which seems crazy. But yet it does the dip and it rips right back up and halts the exact same level at 458. So that was pretty goofy. And then on this red candle here, I think I got in here and I ended up having a pretty nice trade. And I took myself on VEE. I went from up 250 and I overtraded just a bunch of small little losers my way back all the way down to minus 200, and then brought myself up to minus 108 on partially on this trade here. And then there was one more before that. I guess I kind of had a couple on NVTA that moved a little bit, but they were just kind of break-even trades. I didn't really need to touch it. And then FRZA, I had a small little 17-cent winner. That was another one that IPO'd today. That we had some good momentum here. I mean, these were some pretty decent opportunities, but then when these roll over, they roll over really hard. And as you can see, they all closed. I mean, negative on the day for something that was up significantly at one point. So anyway, yeah, and then REBN was the other one that I took. I think this was my better trade. Yeah, that's right. REBN was the one that I made 50 cent on this trade, right? 1160 to 13, yeah, out of this halt here. But this was kind of scary, and I was thankful that I got the profit because I sold out in this thing flush and halted down. So these were risky. I didn't really trade with the big size because I knew the inherent risk of trading IPO stocks like this, especially after we've had some pretty nasty rollovers. I can't think of the one that was going. I can't think of the ticker. It's not that important. But yeah, anyway, that wraps up another day. Small red day all in all. Had a couple good trades. I overtraded on VEE. Had some lessons learned. And that's, I guess, all you can ask for a red day, because that's kind of the whole purpose of red days, in my opinion. So yeah, I will be back for another recap soon.